attempted murder on my mom's husband's mistress. So let's talk about how I was 16 years old and charged with premeditated attempted.
When I was 16 years old, my mother hated my stepdad's mistress so much that she tried to convince me to get rid of her.
I was 16 and I was living with my dad, and I've lived with my dad my whole life. But I decided to go live with my mom because she let me have more leeway, more freedom. She wasn't as strict as my dad. So when I moved in with her, it wasn't nothing unusual at first. It was the same routine. Basically, I had five brothers who literally were my everything. They were 12, 6, 5, 3, and 2 at the time. And basically, like my mom, she was so like obsessed with stalking this girl's page and stalking my stepdad's page that she really wasn't taking care of them how they should be taken care of. Which basically led to me taking them to school, picking them up from school, cooking dinner, making sure they had breakfast on the weekends when they weren't at school, taking them to their ball games, their ball practices, doing homework with them, making sure they all had baths and was in bed at a certain time so they can get up for school the next morning. I was 16 being a mom to five kids, which I was used to it, but this time it was a lot more because my mom wasn't there to help me. And also, I had a boyfriend, and my mom was kind of like use him against me, like, oh, if you don't watch the kids today, you can't go see your boyfriend. Oh, if you don't watch the kids, you can't go get your nails done. You can't go out with your friends. And I was 16 at the time, so it's like, okay, I will watch the kids if you let me go out. Like, I will do anything you want me to do if you let me go out with my boyfriend or my friends. You get what I'm saying? That's how my mind was at 16. And so since I was always watching my brothers, they would give me headaches because they're so loud and they're just always over the place, and I would get bad headaches. And so I would tell my mom, like, hey mom, like, I have a headache, can you give me some medicine? And she'll be like, sure. And she'll give me headache medicine. But in the end, I found out that it was not headache medicine. I found them in the cabinets and I confronted her on it. She tried to manipulate me into saying that I needed them. And it was anti-psych meds, antidepressants, those type of medicines. And basically, when I had got locked up, I had like a therapist or whatever come evaluate me, and they basically told me like, if you take those type of meds and you don't need them, it can have a backwards effect. So basically make me crazy when I'm not crazy, if that makes sense. And she was also giving me this like green tea, and I just thought it was some type of green tea that was supposed to help you with headaches and being sick, but it turns out that it was some type of drugs in the green tea. I don't know, that's just what the investigators told me on that part. So basically, getting more into the story, she tried to get one of my good friends to do it. I'm not gonna name any names, just off of respect for them. But she tried to get one of my good friends to do it, and it just ain't go as she wanted it planned. Basically, he used her like, oh, I'll do it, but she was giving him her car, money, all types of stuff, and basically he was just using that as an advantage. And when that didn't go as planned, she tried to get my boyfriend to do it, and he's also my co-defendant. But so basically, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it," da, 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 just like to persuade her into thinking he's gonna do it, so she would stop like hounding him because she was like texting him like back to back, asking if he was gonna do it, like becoming like really crazy. And in the end, he basically told my mom like, "Yo, I'm not gonna do that." Da, da, da. So that's when she turned to me and was like, "You're gonna," I'm trying to say the word, but get rid of her, basically. And I just did not know what to do. Like, you want me to do what? Huh? Like, I've never even been to juvenile. I've never even had a referral in school. And you want me to do what to this lady? You're crazy. Basically, I did not know what to do. I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want my mom to get in trouble. Like, my boyfriend used to tell me, you need to go back and live with your dad. You were better off with your dad. But I didn't want to tell my dad because I didn't want him to get my mom in trouble. And then my brothers, like, I felt like if something happened, what was going to happen to my brothers? So basically, I stayed in that situation for my brothers because I felt like my mom wasn't in a position to take care of them because of things that would happen when I would think she could take care of them. So basically, after like a month or two goes by of her planning everything, she had a whole plan. She wanted it done with a gun. She wanted me and my boyfriend to run up in there and basically tie the lady up, tie her kids up and lock them in the bathroom and duct tape their mouths and hold her at gunpoint and steal all her money and then shoot her in the head. And it was just like crazy because you want me to do what? Like, I was just like, I was very depressed going through it at the time. I was just scared. I was a scared teenager. I didn't know what to do. So my mom ended up giving me a deadline. Basically, hold on, what was it? October 18th was the fair, Midnight Madness. And my mom was basically like, this is the day it has to be done because if you don't do it, then you can't go to Midnight Madness with your boyfriend. And back in the day when I was a kid, Midnight Madness was a big thing. That's when everyone popped out, dressed nice, you know, fair rides, fair food. It was just fun for teenagers. And that's what I wanted to do with my boyfriend. And basically she was trying to take that away from me. And I was just like, fine, like, just, I would do whatever you want. Just don't take away like my freedom. Like, don't take away my sanity because going out with him or with my friends or just leaving that house, period, just was like a weight lifted off my shoulders because I didn't have to deal with my brothers. I didn't have to deal with my mom's crazy thoughts of what she wants to happen to this lady. So basically, she gave me a deadline, and one day on that deadline, I was out. I was out with my boyfriend and his homeboy, and basically she called me going off saying that I'm grounded. I can't go out with him. I can't go get my nails done. I can't go to the fair. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm gonna be stuck at the house with my brothers forever because I wouldn't, kill this lady. So basically, I was crying like I didn't know what to do, and my boyfriend's homeboy went and got me a machete. Now that sounds crazy, but he went and got me a machete. And basically, it was not planned to be used. It was just to persuade my mom. Basically, persuade her into saying, it's going to happen. We have the weapon. It's going to happen. But not really happen. You get what I'm saying?
So at 15 and 16 years old, do you think your mother could have convinced you to commit murder for her? Let me know in the comments.
Basically, he puts the weapon in the car. We go to my mom's house. I tell her to come outside, and I show her the weapon. And she was just like, what are you going to do with that? And I was just like, I don't know. Because really, we weren't going to use it. It was not supposed to be used. It was just supposed to persuade her into thinking it was going to happen. Hopefully she comes to realization that this is not a good thing to do, and she just stops talking about it. So basically, she tells me to go inside. I go inside with her. So we get to the room, and she already has my clothes laid out on the bed. It's a black jacket, black pants, black shoes, and she also has a separate pair of clothes next to the bed, and it's just another fit, basically, because she said I was gonna have blood all over me. So basically what she told me was that she wanted me to cut the lady's head off. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what she wanted me to do. Basically how she described it was, if you ever watched The Walking Dead, the lady Michonne who has the machete and she cuts the zombie's head off. That's what she wanted me to do. And I'm like hysterically crying at this point. So basically when it's time, I go outside and I get in the car. It's raining and I'm crying driving, and basically my boyfriend was like, pull over, like you're no fit to drive, like you're crying, it's raining, I don't even have my glasses on to see the road. So I pull over and he gets in the driver's seat, I get in the passenger seat, I'm just crying and crying and crying. I got the machete in my pants because I didn't want, we got pulled over for them to see it, I've never committed a crime before. So basically he ended up taking me to a street in front of the victim's house. Right, the street in front of the victim's house. Mind you, I already knew where the victim lived because my mom had pulled up on her before, trying to fight her because my stepdad was over there with the kids, and it was just a lot. So my boyfriend ended up driving a street in front of my victim's house, and basically he looked at me and was like, I don't want you to do this, you just need to go back and live with your dad, and it was better at your dad's, your mom is crazy. But me, I just could not tell my dad or anybody because I didn't want my mom to get in trouble. I didn't want anything to happen to my brothers because they needed me at the time. So, and I'm just crying, I'm having an anxiety attack at this point, and I get out the car. And I got out the car and I walked all the way to my victim's house. And I get to her house, trying not to cry. I'm good. So I get to my victim's house, and basically her door, you could see into it. It was like one of those glass doors. And I looked in, and she's literally at the kitchen table doing homework with her kids. Okay? She's doing homework with her kids. And I was just saying to myself, this lady does not deserve this. She's a mom, just like my mom. She has kids, just like my mom has kids. And I couldn't even think of anything happening to my brothers because about my brothers, I don't know what I would do to somebody if somebody hurt them. So I was just like she got kids and she's doing homework with them. I can't do this. I'm just gonna go back and live with my dad, and I'm gonna take my brothers with me. That's what I was thinking at the time. I was going crazy. And so my victim gets up from the table and she starts walking towards the door, and I thought she was just gonna go into the hallway because there was a hallway right there. I thought she was gonna go into the hallway to go to the room or use the bathroom or something. So I get to the side of the door so she wouldn't come outside and see me. I moved so she wouldn't see me and come outside basically. So when I moved, I'm just standing there oh my God, please don't come outside, please don't come outside. I will leave, I'm gonna leave, don't come outside. And with my luck, the lady came outside. When the lady came outside, I guess she came outside to smoke a cigarette. And she didn't want to do it around her kids, or she just don't smoke in the house. I don't know. But she came outside to smoke a cigarette. And when she looked at me, she screamed. She screamed so loud. And I just took the machete and I swung on her. And I blacked out. So I was at her house with the machete, and she ended up coming outside to smoke a cigarette. And I was on the side of the house because I didn't want her to see me. I was going to leave. I was going to do it. I was going to leave. That was my whole plan. But she ended up coming outside, and she seen me. And when she seen me, she screamed so loud. And it scared me oh my God, the neighbors are going to hear. And I just swung on her. I swung on her with the machete, and I blacked out. So I don't really remember me attacking her because I blacked out. But I do remember her daughter coming to save her. And I'm not gonna lie, her daughter was 12 years old, and her daughter came to save her mom, and she grabbed the machete. And when I was blacked out, I felt like someone tugging on the machete. So that's when I came to reality, and I was like, oh my God, this is a child. And I pulled it back. And when I pulled it back, it cut her thumb off, basically. So after I pulled it back and it cut her thumb off, I was like freaking out because I'm back in reality. Like I seen what I just did. Blood was everywhere. The lady was on the floor and I just did not know what to do. So I was just like, I'm so sorry. Please call an ambulance, but I gotta go. And I left. And when I got back in the car, my co-defendants were like, what happened? Like, did you do it? Like, what's wrong? Why are you still crying? And I was just like, drive the car. Like, please drive the car. Get me away from here. One thing I do remember telling my mom is like, if you have anything happen to this lady, like the cops are gonna come knocking on your door first because everybody knows that you don't like this lady don't like you. And she used to always tell me like, blah blah blah, like don't jinx me, that's not gonna happen, I got this. And what happened? They came knocking on her door as soon as it happened. So we're in the car, we're driving, we're gonna go drop off one of my co-defendants because he really didn't have anything to do with it, honestly. So we just go drop him off. And so while we're in the car, my mom calls me and she's like, did you do it? And I was just like, yeah, I did it. And she was just like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah, I did it. And I'm not coming home. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I was just crying. I was just like, in that moment, I was just so mad that she made me do this. And so I was just like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to go stay with my boyfriend for a little bit. Like, just leave me alone. And she was just like, I'm gonna come to you, like I'm gonna get in the truck and I'm gonna come to you and you can tell me what happened, we can figure this out, like what to do next. And I was just like, no, like you need to stay home with my brothers, like someone has to be there with my brothers because the cops are gonna come questioning you and you just need to be there with my brothers. Don't worry about me, I don't wanna see you. And I hung up the phone. So me and my boyfriend get to his house, like the area around his house, and my mom just keeps calling my phone, and when I answered, it was the police. And when I heard it was the police, I immediately hung up the phone because I was scared, like why are they questioning me, like I should have no parts. That's where my mind was at. And I just hung up the phone and I didn't know what to do. I was just crying. So I was asking my boyfriend, like, what do we do? Do we go on the run until this dies down because I feel like they have no proof, or do I just talk to the police and like let them question me how they want to question me? And he was just like, it's whatever you want to do. So I ended up calling my nana because my mom said that I could trust her. So I called my nana and I told her to come pick me up because I needed to go to the house where the cops were and basically go with them so they can question me. So mind you, my boyfriend had already took the evidence and hid it somewhere. So when my nana gets there, she's like, what happened? What did you do? And I was just like, I don't want to talk about it. I just need you to take me back to my mom's house. The cops are there. And I was like, I was crying so bad. I told my boyfriend, like, where's my stuff? Like, I'm thinking my phone or something like that. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, where's my stuff? And I guess me crying was making him nervous. He was like, I'm gonna go get your stuff. And he came back with the evidence. And I was just like, why do you have that? Like, it don't need to be out here around us. And my nana was just like, put it in the back of my car. I'll get rid of it. Remember that. Remember what I just said, okay? So he puts the evidence in the back of her car, and I give him a hug, a little kiss, and we go our separate ways. And so me and my nana are in the car, and she's just asking me what happened. And I was just like, I did something, and the cops want to talk to us. I don't know what to do. I did it for my mom, and she was just like, I'm gonna get you out of this. We're gonna get you out of this. And so we get to my mom's house, and like my victim's road is closed off. The road, like the highway, is closed off. My mom's road is closed off. And when I get there, it's like a million cop cars, and they're shining light on the car because I guess they're trying to see like who's in the car. And they were like, are you Hannah fine? And I was like, yes, I'm getting out, like I'm coming to talk. And so when I got out the car, a police immediately turned me around and put me in handcuffs. And the first thing I said was, where are my brothers? Like, where are my brothers? Who's with my brothers? Because I seen that my mom was already in the cop car. She was just staring at me. And I just did not know what to do because my brothers are by themselves. They're in there with a police. But I ended up seeing some of my mom's family, like her sister and stuff, out there. So I was like, okay, they're going to be with my aunt. They're okay. So I ended up going to the back of the cop car with them. And we drive to the police station. And basically, I was in there for like, how long? Like 6 hours? I was there for 6 hours, from like 10 at night to 6 in the morning. I was in there handcuffed to a table, and they was just questioning me, questioning my mom. And at first, we weren't saying nothing. And they were actually going to release us because they really had no evidence. But they wanted the phone. So mind you, my phone that I had was in my nana's car. I left it. And they were calling her asking for my phone. And they were like, is there anything else in the car that you need to tell us about? Or is there anything that Hannah told you that you need to tell us? And she was like, her boyfriend put something in my car. I don't know what it was, but he put something in the back of my car. So they tell her to pull up to the police station so they can get the evidence. And she was just saying, like, she don't know what it was. She has no clue what he put back there. And basically, when they took the evidence to my mom to show her, my mom said something. And then they came in my room and they put her statement in front of my face and was like, you're finna go to prison for the rest of your life. You're a murderer. Your mom told on you. Here's the statement of what she said. And here's the evidence we have on you. All the pictures in front of me, the statement in front of me, my victim in front of me. And I was just like, what? And so I'm reading the statement, and my mom basically turned her back on me. My mom said that I was crazy, schizophrenic. She had no idea what I wanted to do, what I planned on doing. She had no intentions on ever hurting this lady. I was jealous of the lady, and she was just throwing me under the bus to basically save her and basically say F her daughter. Yeah. So after after my mom threw me under the bus, I just started crying hysterically because I was just terrified. Like, my heart was broken. So the cops were just like, I'm gonna go to prison for the rest of my life. I'm a murderer. My mom sold me out. Just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And basically, I was just like, bro, like, I would tell you, like, what happened if y'all just stopped talking to me like this. Like, please stop, please stop. Like, I was just hysterically crying. So I ended up telling them, yes, I did it, but can I just tell y'all why I did it? Like, I'm not a murderer for real. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a violent person. Please just listen to my story. So after I told them the story, you know, what I told y'all in the other clips, they were just literally lost for words. Like, they didn't know what to do after that. Oh, I do remember that my phone that they had was sitting like on the table in front of me, and it just kept ringing and ringing and ringing, and it was my dad. So literally, I just started begging them to answer the phone because I was terrified and I wanted my dad. Like, I never should leave that at my dad's house, and I thought he was gonna be mad at me. But when they answered the phone, he was just like, he was scared because, you know, I'm his daughter, his only daughter, and he was like, Hannah, whatever you do, just wait till you get a lawyer. Don't tell him nothing. Like, he didn't even know what was going on. He just knew what my nana called and told him. So I'm still crying, and I just tell him, like, it's too late. Like, I already told them what I did, and I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen to me, but I already told them. And he just got quiet. So it's like 6 o'clock in the morning now. They still don't know what to do with us or what to do with me because I'm a child, and the information I just said, the information my mom said, the information my nana said, like, they just don't know what to do. So eventually they ended up taking my mom to county jail, and they ended up taking me to juvenile. So once I get to the juvenile facility, they housed me, and I really don't know what to say about my time in juvenile because I was only there for a week, and then after that week they transferred me to county jail because I was being tried as an adult. So I get to county jail, they transferred me and my co-defendant, and he goes to the juvenile pod for boys. I go to the infirmary because they don't have a juvenile pod for females. I was literally the only female juvenile in county jail, so I was housed in the infirmary, and I got some stories about the infirmary, but it really wasn't that bad. Like, the guards, they were very nice to me. They ended up putting a TV in my room. I could watch TV all night. I was able to use the phone all day, call my dad, just calling my dad all day. I know I was bugging him. I had food. My dad sent me packages. Like, it wasn't bad. But get back on track. I ended up doing 15 months in county jail because my mom decided to take her case to trial. I pleaded guilty, but I still had to wait for my mom's trial to be over for me to get sentenced and for my co-defendants to get sentenced. So my time in county, I had this lawyer that my dad had got for me, and he always came to see me, basically just keeping me updated on like the things my mom was saying. And some of the things that my mom was saying was actually pretty wild. My mom was doing and saying anything to get out of this situation and just leave me in it to deal with it by myself. So I found out that my mom said I was jealous of my victim because I was in a relationship with my stepdad. So when I heard that, I was just heartbroken, crying again. I did a lot of crying. So 15 months go by of dealing with this, and my mom's trial finally comes up, and basically she had her side and I had my side. So after the trial was over, she ended up being found guilty. And then, you know, shortly after, we had our sentencing date. And so the day of sentencing, I got sentenced first, and the judge sentenced me to 200 months. So that's 16 years. Now, when he said 200 months, I didn't know how long 200 months was. So I started counting on my fingers, and I ran out of fingers, and I was like, that's 10 years. Like, how long is 200 months? Like, why ain't nobody telling me how many years 200 months is? Like, I was starting to freak out a little bit. And my dad, he basically just stormed out of the courtroom crying. My family, they was all crying. I was crying. They had to get me to the back, and that's when my lawyer told me, like, Hannah, 200 months is 16 years. And when I heard the years that I got, I just fell down to the ground crying. Like, at this time, I was 17 now, and I just felt like my life was over. I felt like I was never going to have a life. And honestly, I just wanted to die. Like, I did not want to be here anymore. I felt like my life was over. So they take me back to county jail, and when I got back there, like, a lot of the guards was waiting for me, and some of them was even crying. So they take me to the office where my therapist was at. Her name was Miss Fry. I will never forget her. She was such a sweet lady. But she was in there with a couple of officers that I got close with that really looked out for me, and we're all just crying because they didn't think I was gonna get that much time. So now for the big question. My mother ended up getting 55 years. So after we were all sentenced, they ended up moving me from the infirmary to the adult pod. But since I was still underage, I had to be locked in the cell 24 hours.
So, mind you, my whole 15 months in county jail, I never seen my mom. But when they moved me to the adult pod, I was able to see her through the window on the other adult pod, since we weren't able to be on the same pod with each other. And we would literally just look at each other, just like looking at each other. And then I started getting little notes on my breakfast trays from my mom. And on the little notes that she would send me, basically she was just telling me like everything I would need to take with me when I went to prison, stuff I couldn't take with me just because she already knew. And she would just tell me how much she loves me and she's sorry that we're going through this. And I used to look forward to getting those letters. I looked forward to getting those letters. Like, it just used to make my heart, like, so happy that my mom was writing me letters and talking to me. So after about like a week in county, after we were sentenced, we were shipped off to prison. And it was like 50 of us, and like all the women, they were all like handcuffed to each other, like one person here and then another person was right next to them, handcuffed and shackled. But since I was a baby, I couldn't be handcuffed to another adult woman because I was a child and she was an adult. And so when I seen all the women start coming in and stuff, I was just looking for my mom. Like, I was just looking for her just because I wanted to be next to my mom on this ride to prison. And I know y'all are thinking like, why were you looking for your mom? Why did you want to be next to her? Why were you happy she was writing you notes? But at the end of the day, that was still my mother. And I was so scared of going to prison. I was so scared to go into prison that, sorry. So I was so scared of going to prison, and my mom was the only person I knew. Like, I've never been in this predicament before, and I'm literally, my mom's my mom. Like, I've known her my whole life. So I just felt comfortable being with her, even though of our situation and like her trying to manipulate me and throw me under the bus. I just still wanted my mother. So they started putting us on the bus, and all the adults went to like the back of the bus. And then on the front of the bus, it was a caged off area for like pregnant women, crazy people, and juveniles. So it was me. I sat next to a pregnant lady, and then another lady next to me that could not fit in the back. What broke my heart in that moment was when everybody was loading on the bus. My mom was kind of in the front so she could choose wherever she wanted to sit. And instead of sitting in the seat right behind me so we could talk or we could do whatever because we haven't talked in 15 months. And that's all I wanted to do. Like, it was going to be like a 5-hour drive. And I just wanted to sit there and talk to my mom. And she didn't want to be by me, I guess. So she went to the back of the bus. So on the whole ride there, everybody was just talking and laughing, and people kept saying to me, "Oh my God, Hannah, you're so pretty. You look just like your mom. She told us so many things about you. You're just so pretty. Oh, you're such a baby." And I was just like, okay, like my mom, she talked good about me, but why didn't she want to sit next to me? And it was this one girl, and she was like, she called me like fine, like trying to hit on me, and my mom stood up and was like, "That's a child, like that's my baby, like don't even try her like that." And then after that, she didn't say nothing else. So we all finally get to the reception center in Ocala, and the reception center is a process. You gotta check in, they gotta get your name, everything. Then you go to the back, they make you shower, they make you do your hair, you gotta squat and cough. Then they gave us a dress that we all had to put on, and we had to wait in the caged area. It was just a long process. At this point, all the guards knew that I was a juvenile and that I had to go to Lowell across the street to be in the YO camp since I couldn't be on the actual adult compound. So they told me, like, when I get done showering and everything, to go in the other room and not go in the caged area because other adults was in there and I wasn't supposed to be with adults. So when I got done showering, I was walking past the cage and my mom was like, "Hannah, come here." And so I looked around, there was no guards to tell me, "Hey, you can't go in there." So I ended up going in the cage and I sat next to my mom. And I was like, "What do you want?" And she was like, "Are you okay? How do you feel? Do you have everything you need? Do you need anything?" And I was just mad because you didn't talk to me for 5 hours when you could have been literally right behind me, face to face, talking to me. And she was like, "Oh, I'm just saying." I was like, "No, like, you want to be a mom now? Like, you want to look out for me now? No, bro, I'm good." And then the police see me and was like, "Fine, come in his room." So, of course I ended up tearing up and I was just like, I love you. And I walked off. So they ended up transferring me across the street to Low, put me in the YO camp, and it was like a boot camp. Not gonna lie, it was like a boot camp. I'll tell y'all more details or more stories about my time in the YO camp and my time in prison and stuff if y'all want to know. But basically, like when I was there, like I was very angry, and I had stopped believing in God. Like in county, I was like trying to talk to the devil, like, oh my God, if you would just give me my freedom and take all this away, like I would do anything for you. Because I was just so upset that God let me go through all this. So during my time of me not believing in God, which I believe in him now, like that is my Lord and Savior and I love him so much. But during my time of me not believing in him, like I was just getting in trouble. I was fighting because I was the baby, and people would like try to daughter me, or they would like get jealous because of their girlfriend talking to me. It was just a lot, and I was a baby, so I just had to prove myself to them. And I kept putting in motions and appeals, and it just kept getting denied. So I got denied twice, but my lawyer ended up putting in my third motion. So on this one specific day, I got into a fight, and basically they gave me a battery, and which it wasn't a battery, but they didn't see the other girl hit me back. So they took us all to jail, and when I was in confinement, I was in a cell by myself. I wasn't allowed to be housed with another YO due to my time and my charges, because at the time I had 16 years. But so I kept getting Bible studies slipped under my door, and I was just like, I don't want these. Like, I don't believe in God right now. I don't want them. But one day, I just got bored, so I picked it up and I started doing it. So they ended up transferring me to another confinement pod called Tango because I was getting declassified, which means I was going to be on the adult pod because I was of age now, and I just had a lot of time in the YO camp. They didn't want me being around the other YOs for too long. So I ended up being in confinement for 3 months, and I was starting to want to pray, but I was just like, no, like I don't want to pray. But it just kept coming to my mind to pray. So I'm still getting these Bible studies, and I'm slowly doing them. And then one day, I don't know what happened, but one day I just started crying. Like, I just started crying, and I was just crying to God. Like, I literally got off my bunk and got down on my knees and was praying and talking and yelling to him. Like, I was saying, God, please help me. Please get me out of this situation. Like, there's no way I could do 16 years. Like, my life is going to be over. Please just let me go home to my family, like my brothers. Like, I miss them so much. Like, just please help me at least lower my time. Like, please just, you don't have to send me home now, but just lower my time. And I was just like, I promise I will never turn my back on you again. Like, I was just mad at you, but I really love you. I was just mad at you. I will never turn my back on you again. And it was a lot. Like, I was just having like a mental breakdown. So after I get done crying and praying to God, I'm finally calmed down. Like, I felt a lot better. And I was like, I'm just gonna go take a nap. So right before I fell asleep, a guard came to my door and was like, fine, you got some mail. Like, come get it. So I got up to go get my mail. And when I looked down, it was a letter from my lawyer. And when I opened it, like I opened it so fast because like I don't ever get letters from him. And so when I opened up my letter, basically he told me that my motion was approved and that I had court like after my birthday. So I immediately start crying because I kept getting denied. Like my emotions got denied, my appeals got denied. And so I just found it crazy. Like after I just got done praying to God and telling him that I was never going to turn my back on him again, as soon as I got done doing that, I get a letter from my lawyer saying that my motion finally got approved. And I was just crying and crying and crying because like God really did that. Like all he wanted was for me to believe in him. All he wanted was me to love him and for me to put him first, and he was going to help me. But he wasn't going to help me if I kept denying him and turning my back on him. So they eventually let me out of confinement, and they ended up shipping me back to the reception center because GP, which is general population, were also allowed to be there, not just the receptionists, the RNOs. So they ended up shipping my mom to Lowell. So I did a lot of time at the reception center, and I also did some time at Homestead. But during this time, which if y'all want to know about my time there, y'all just ask and I would tell y'all, I'll give y'all story times because it's some crazy things that went down. But after my birthday, I turned 19. I ended up going to court. I think I went to court on June 24th. Or no, I think that's the day I got sentenced, was like re-sentenced, was June 24th. But I ended up going to court, and when I went in there, my lawyer was there, the state attorney was there, and she was kind of like on my side. Like, she did not want me to get that long. And so I talked to the judge, and basically he just said he was going to give me a chance. He said he was going to give me a chance to get my life together and to fix myself. And he took back like 9.5 years, and I only had to do 7. I ended up getting like some game time and stuff. So instead of doing like 8ish, I was only able to do 7, which I am so grateful for. And it's all because of God. And I just love Him so much. And I'm just so appreciative and blessed for the blessing that He gave me to fix myself and to get myself together and to build a life for me, because I have a purpose and I'm slowly figuring out what my purpose is. So if y'all want to know more stories, or if there's any questions y'all have, just ask me and we can keep it going. But yeah, this is my story and this is my testimony. It's all because of God.
And this is why unresolved pain can become dangerous because hurt people don't always just hurt themselves. Sometimes they pull their children down with them. So, parentification on steroids. She's taking care of her siblings like they're hers. She has to get them to school, make them dinner, make sure they eat, take their bath. She's the parent at 16. And then she's also responsible for her mother's well being, apparently, because her mother's feelings are hurt. So now she has to make them better by deleting one of the people that's the cause of her feelings being hurt. I'm just, these people never cease to amaze me. The gall, the mitigated gall to make your child responsible for mending your broken heart. And you didn't ask her to pass you a cup so you could pour you a drink. You want her to murder someone. Really? Boy, I tell you. Talk to y'all later in the comments.